because whether it's science, religion, philosophy, they're all going to approach things from a different perspective. They'll have different interests. They're trying to find out different things. And for some things, science simply can't be used, like abstract concepts and principles, like love, unless you want to boil down love to a chemical reaction, or religion, religious devotion, or those transcendental feelings. Once again, a scientific materialist would just have to find the location in the brain where those events are taking place and explain it in some biochemical way. Years ago, I had a young man, a student, who had some sort of distress in his frontal lobes, and the doctors believed it was causing these profound hallucinations. He would get these migraine headaches where everything would go into like a tunnel vision, and it was like he's like looking through a tunnel. And when he would go through, sometimes this would last for days, he would have these encounters with God or with Jesus, and sometimes he even thought he was Jesus. And part of the solution was they were able to put like a battery pack in his chest, and under his skin they ran some wires up his neck into his frontal lobes, and it would give a slight electrical pulse. And so as the charge would pulsate, he would talk in a rhythmic pattern where his words would rise and fall with the pulsing of this electric charge to keep him evened out. It was super fascinating to watch. And it made the voices go away. It made the hallucinations go away. But then he was concerned. He was like, do I actually even know God or Jesus? Or was that just a condition in my brain? And what a great question, right? If a scientist can say, oh, you want to hear the angels sing, and they can stimulate a certain part of your frontal lobes, and all of a sudden you're having some religious vision, that's curious, right? Does that mean there aren't visions that come from God or things? No, it doesn't, but it does show that there is a relational effect between our physical brain and what is happening. Which one is causing the other is certainly open for discussion. I told this young man that his experiences sounded very much like the medieval mystics. Saint Hildegard von Bingen is a good one. You might want to check her out. She was an abbess, I think, from the 14th century, and she would have very similar headaches and incapacitating, and out of them she would have these profound visions, and she would write this music and do painting. And I would suggest Googling or YouTubing her. We still have much of her music today that's been redone. It's in Latin, but it is hauntingly beautiful. I would suggest giving it a try. But that's what I told this young man. I said, I do not know whether this is a physiological condition of something going wrong in your brain, or if this is some sort of religious experience that you're having. Or, I'm certainly postmodern enough to believe it could be a little of both. There could be something physically going on, but there could also be a spiritual counterpart that's happening. And so a very interesting young man, and someone's asking their name, and I wouldn't share it if I knew it, but I have forgotten it. It was probably 15 years ago I had this student. Any other questions, comments?